Hello. Today's stream, as you may notice, is a little bit different because you can see my computer screen. I'm going to turn down the volume on this lovely cozy music. Full credit to Chill Hot Music today. I'm going to see. My hope is that I have my phone right here so that I can at least see vaguely what's going on in the chat, what I am looking like, all of that jazz. So I appreciate in advance your grace as I figure out how to share my screen and also run a stream at the same time. I'm going to open this so I can see all of y'all's comments and mute myself so you do not get the world's most terrible echo. Boop. So you all should be appearing in a little corner that is not currently streaming. Wonderful. Please do say hi when you come in and join so I know who is here. I know how folks are doing. I have had not the most amazing of days. I woke up in the middle of the night and I was up for like 3 hours just because anxiety is a little tough, and an event I ended up calling off for tomorrow. That was a farmer's market. So I'm less than encouraged at the present moment, but I'm very glad to be here. I also have some lovely ginger tea because my stomach also hurts. Why not? But the wonderful thing about herbal teas is that they're literally just whatever bit of apple tea is just little pieces of apple soaked in water. Lemon tea is little pieces of lemon soaked in water. Rose tea is rose petals soaked in water. And ginger tea is simply ginger soaked in water. So I took out a ginger root, fresh ginger root, grated little pieces into a tea strainer, and now I have this hopefully not going to burn my tongue tea that will soothe my stomach and has honey in it for maximum deliciousness. Wow, that is so ginger. Wow, my stomach's gonna feel great after this. Fantastic. I'd gotten into the habit last week of bringing on camera some of the things that I made the week before. Because of the format this week, I don't have the ability to do that. However, they are up on my Etsy, so I can show them off digitally because I did a little photo shoot with all of these bad lads. I also posted some of the avatar figures that I had not yet posted, as well as some of the things that I've made on previous streams. So those are all available. I think if it says made to order, it means that I have sold it. But if it says ready to ship, it means it is literally sitting in a box right here for your mailing and snuggling. So here is how Tifa ended up. I really love how the back of the hair looks. That was my favorite shot. I usually like to include one photo that has some kind of measurement on it so that you can see what things are going on, how big it is, especially if like you're buying it for a particular shelf or area. Oftentimes include a hand photo, various angles. Cloud with his little wire doodad. The measurement behind Cloud. Barrett, I think, is still my favorite. I really like the way the hair turned out. If I have something that's removable, I'll usually take a photo or two to show that it is removable. And of course, photo from the back. Bald spot from last week, completely gone. And of course, Aerith. I had a previous version on here, so I just had to change the photos. Beautiful, beautiful. Now I'm going to close all of these We might bring this tab back up, but mostly for reference photo purposes. Oh no, this is a recursive thing I do not want to handle today. Here we go. As the caption and title say, I'm going to be working on some digital art. JC here stands for Janity Craftly. This is my digital art folder. Working in science, I put so much unnecessary information into file names. It is a habit that will never die. So these are all my digital art things since I have started. This little guy here that says all colors you can see over here. Because Autodesk Sketchbook, the art program that I use, doesn't have, to my knowledge, if you know a way to do this, you will save me a lot of time. But to my knowledge, it does not have a place where you can input hex codes. And so I work from this screenshot of a spreadsheet where I have all of my colors of yarn with occasional little, for example, I have my yarn purple and my light purple, but my yarn purple doesn't show up great digitally, so I have one called flag purple that I use for like pride flags and things like that. But I will just do the oh no, what's it called? I know what it is called. Oh, hello Asina. And hello Emmy. Oh, thank you. You are very kind. I'm glad you are both here, and I hope, Asina, that your board games are still happening, because to my understanding, that was what was supposed to be occurring at this time. But here are all my completed designs. For example, if I go in, you'll see original photo that I used, and I'll often do like here the outline, then get some line art, then get it all colored. I don't know why this is called Totoro Cupcake 4.jpg, but it is. So I usually keep those in case I want to do something different or add something to it. For example, in the screenshot that I posted, I took my plain old pink Kirby and went back to the file that I used and made all of these Pride Kirby's, which I am kind of in love with right now. It's so cute, and non-binary Kirby just brings me so much life. So everything here that has a little squiggly in front is something that is not yet completed, and you'll see the little parentheses will indicate what I need to do. For Aizawa, I need to color. For the evolutions, I need to clean up line art. For the frog, I need to color. For the Kirby Pride, I need to make transparent, etc., etc., etc. So I can read through what I have to work on, and if you would like to see something in particular, I'm sure we cannot get to all of them today, but if you feel strongly about one of them, please tell me, or else I will just follow my soul. So we have Aizawa, who is a character from My Hero Academia. I adapted everything here with the exception of some things like moon phases and Pokeball that I just drew from scratch, are based on my plushies. So I made an Aizawa plushie, took pictures, made Aizawa art. So we got Aizawa. Evolutions like Vaporeon and Jolteon and all of that stuff. Frog, just a little frog bobble. You may have seen it on social media. It's just a very simple little frog. Kirby Pride, I've already showed you. Loki is the chibi version of the Marvel character Loki. Mandrake is a Harry Potter adjacent creature. Oh, hello, Christine. I am glad that you are here for any amount of time. Thank you for joining. And thank you, Emmy, for saying that my folder setup is impressive, because I take my organizations very seriously. perhaps too seriously, but I'm the one who uses them, so it is just for me. Moon phases is adapted from something I did in polymer clay. I was planning to do my little not a phase design with various pride flags, and also like a general moon phase for folks who like moon phase stuff but don't connect with or want pride stuff. Mothman. I feel strongly that some Mothman pride flags would work extremely well. The mushroom's my little mushroom. Pokeball. I'm not 100% on the design yet, so I would love input if you have it. Redone dice and redone pronouns are very... it's just a whole pile of every single pride flag on my very large list, which does not include them all. For example, I just added omnisexual. But the backgrounds are not transparent, so that'll be more of a little rote thing. I've got my snail. I've got Tanjiro, who is a character from Demon Slayer, the anime, that is stealing hearts and topping charts. Chaos is a character from the video game Hades, Game of the Year, I think 2020, possibly 2021. It was in beta for a while. Jellyfish. I have a lot of different colors of jellyfish that I can do that y'all can help me pick out. Or just my regular dice, which is a little group. Oh, well, it's a D10 and a D8. So I have a little set that is red. Oh no, this isn't what I wanted at all. Guess we're not doing whatever that was. But we got Aizawa, Evolution, Frog, Kirby, Loki, Mandrake, Moon Phases, Mothman, Mushroom, Pokeball, Dice, Pronoun, Snail, Tanjiro, Chaos, Jellyfish, and last but not least, regular dice. I'm going to take a tea break. If anyone has things that they would like to see, or if you would like to choose one at random and feel powerful because I then do the thing you chose at random, now is the time. I highly recommend this this technique of making ginger tea. All right, it looks like moon phases or evolutions. Between them, I think I will go with moon phases because evolution is just for cleaning up line art. I will show you my little. Oh no! Now it's a tie. We can open up evolutions. So I used the panda art as a base, and then here are my 3 little evolutions I made. Flareon, which is the fire type, Umbreon, which is the dark type, and Espeon, which is the psychic type. I almost forgot which type Espeon was, and I was like, oh no, I can't believe that I've introduced this series. Many friends I know are playing Pokemon Legends Arceus, or Arceus. Oh, hello. Which is going very well for all of them, from what I can tell. Okay. So, Moon is good too. I will give you a mini tour of the evolutions, and then I think Moon, because it is much more visually interesting to watch someone color something than to watch someone clean up every little bit of line art. But thank you, Asina. Also, let me know if there are sections that you would like to see that you cannot right now. Here we've got the original Eevee. I literally just traced over a picture and tried to make it look a little more even. And there's the layer for the Eevee. The Flareon is very easy. It's just a little floof on top and a little tail. Since I used the base of the Eevee, I didn't match the photo exactly, but I did manage to get this little top floof. I did add a tail in, even though there's not a tail on the plush itself, because of course you've got to get the Flareon tail. But if we're doing moons, no thank you. Anybody have strong thoughts on pride flags for the like not a phase thing? The jewelry that I did was the bisexual flag, because that is commonly the identity that gets like it's just a phased in like pop culture, although I think we are moving into a time where gender identities are more widely criticized, which is super fun and cool, and definitely not an issue I have to deal with children on a daily basis. Oh. It is very interesting to see with like the passage of time in queer communities, what gets validated and what gets pushed back on in like the process of moving from something new and cringy to something like valid and part of the community. Like the B, we're in the acronym, so that's pretty good. I think we've made it. But like neopronoun use is scoffed at quite commonly. Anyway, this is about art and not queer discourse. We've got a little outline of all of the shapes of the moon phases. I just used the circle tool and my wits to make this happen. And then I made another one with the white filled in. Oh, I'm also using my little pen and my tablet thingy. It is one of those tablets. It's not like an iPad or a similar thing where you can see the screen you're working on, so it took a while to get used to, but I think it was a worthy while. All right, let's do a bisexual flag color. I usually like to have the top of the flag on the left, just because I am an English speaker and read left to right. So let's pop this color picker. And that dark pink color is the top of the bisexual flag. I also do have a little document with all of the pride flags that I use and all of the colors that are on them. But for the main 9 that I use, which is bisexual, pansexual, asexual, aromantic, rainbow/gay, lesbian, transgender, and genderqueer, that's 8. Non-binary, did I say that already? Panic. Lesbian, gay, bisexual, pansexual, transgender, genderqueer, non-binary, aromantic, asexual. Yeah, I said all of them. I just can't count. All right. Now the tool I use on here, which hopefully you can see, is the little watercolor brush. I did a lot of experimenting because I wanted to get a very particular look. I modeled it a little bit after Mocha Mochi Cake on Instagram. That's sort of like alcohol marker, where it's a very light touch and you can see like the strokes of it. This is the watercolor brush, and that's the look I liked the most, and you can see there's a little demo of what it'll look like if I start drawing. Numbers are silly. I cannot count even to 10, apparently. but I usually adjust the size and such to fit, but I did that ahead of time, so you did not have to see me fiddle with all of that. You're welcome. There are a variety of ways that you can make sure to color in just the part you want. For example, with the bisexual flag, it is a 2 to 1 to 2 ratio, which means it's technically split into 5 parts. But I will have the first 3 be that pink color, the middle one be that lavender color, and the last 3 be blue. It is a little tough to do moon phases with different colors that have not 3. For example, I don't know how I'm going to do rainbow because that's 6 colors and there are 7 moons, but that's a problem for future Janity. So I select just the part that I want with this little magic wand. I do enjoy that that is always referred to the magic as the magic wand tool, because it's like, whoa, magic. I tend to put a little bit of like weight almost, or shading. I don't know if shading would be the proper term for something that doesn't really have a shadow, but I like to think of light coming in from a particular angle because that's how I was taught to make art. My mom actually is a watercolor artist, so she works with actual real watercolors that can like spill on you. She always taught me to imagine where the light is coming from. So I'm imagining it's coming from the top and a little bit to the left. So we've got our 3. Each layer adds, let me demonstrate a little bit of how this works. So if I just scribbled in it and I never lifted, I'm not lifting the pen at all. It's just going to be the same color or the same darkness. But if I undo that and I do 1 stroke, 2 stroke, 3 strokes, 4 strokes, then it starts to add. So what I'll usually do is I'll do like a big old scribble for a base, then another scribble, and then maybe a 3rd scribble, and then you start to see the colors building on one another. Oops. But I try to make it, oh, that's also not the right color. So my demonstration was extremely demonstrational. I think this is it. Light purple, yes. So big swatch, another one, 3rd one, add in some stuff. Beautiful. I'm thinking that this design is going to be a sticker at the very least. I think for the sticker outline, oh, flag blue. Let's see if we can get this exactly. Did I do it? I did. Yay! Oh, thank you, Asina. The goal is for it to be pretty. Let me scroll down. Hopefully that wasn't overly recursive for you all. And keep going. Nope, that's a little too heavy. So I'm thinking stickers. However, I also do, which you may or may not be familiar with, and I am saying this so that I can sort of process my ideas and not to turn it into a commercial for myself. So please let me know if I'm leaning a little too far in that direction. But I also do shrink plastic, or art film it's sometimes called, which you can print a design on like this. And I think it might work if I am very creative with it, to like punch holes in the little moons and have it be a dangle. All right. So here we got the bi flag. I feel okay about this. I don't feel like totally enamored with it, but I do like it. One thing I was considering for the purposes of stickers and such is getting a little background going so that it has like a galaxy feel to it. So if I add a layer, for those of you who haven't worked in art programs or things, layers work a lot like the sort of like moved back send to front things you'll see in things like word processors or like presentation software like PowerPoint, where they all stack on top of one another and you can determine what is in front of something else. And these little boxes indicate that it is transparent. I can turn those off if I want to, but it is helpful for me to know. So we will create one called space. The very top is the moon outline, which I will rename in accordance with my strong need to organize everything. Moon outline bisexual. Let's make some space. I think black and like a dark blue are probably good ones. Let me bring this back. Let's start with dark blue and see where the mood takes us. Okay, having done a very basic scribble, I can see that if I am to make this, I would have to cut it out using scissors on my little sticker paper. So I would want to have it be a little tighter than it currently is. Oh dear. Now we're doing great. It's that positive self-talk. And I will be zooming, quite thoroughly. Zooming in and out a little bit so that I can get exactly the right spot. If that makes you dizzy, I do apologize. Let me know if you want a warning for when that happens. And again, I'm taking advantage of the single layer trick here. So here's blue. I'm gonna put the background back on so I can see how it'll look like over a paper. I'm going to do one layer of black. Oh yeah. That's really beginning to complete the look, as they say. I'm going to do more shading of sorts, like in the center around all of the little moon phases. I know that this is just a diagram of how the moon looks and not something that is in actual space. But I like space. It's cool. It's got some neat stuff in it, that space. Okay. I don't want to make it even darker, actually. And I think I will add some stars or equivalent little things. Back in the day when I was on... Aw, man. Alright, let me do some little magic erasing on this end. Back in the day when I was just on ye old tumblr.com, I was making fan art for a lot of different things, but one of them was Star Wars, and I made this little outline of Star Wars characters. I think it was the... No, I've made a terrible error. Alright, we'll undo all of this. But when I was making Star Wars characters, I tried to make a little space outline and randomize the star placement to just put little dots on it. And apparently I am very bad at randomly placing things like dots, because that just... I put them out too evenly. Haha, the final frontier. Space 2. Sometimes I put silly little things in there for myself. I think since I have a second shot at space, very much unlike NASA, I will start with the black and then add the blue on later to see if that makes a difference. Yeah. So just keep going. As I try to add layers, I'll mix it up by doing more than a single stroke so that there are different different densities and thicknesses, and it looks more like it was done on a piece of paper than on a computer, because that is kind of the vibe that I'm going for, because I do hand make everything else. Like when I print out these on whatever I print them out on, I will hand cut and hand glue and hand bake and hand everything. But I like being able to do digital art because clearly the organizational tone suits me well. And I like not having to clean up after I myself. Let's get this yarn blue. Oh, I have an update for my Dungeons & Dragons group. This is very exciting. One pro of not going to the farmer's market tomorrow is instead I will play Dungeons & Dragons with my friends. So there's always a silver lining. There's often a silver lining, let us say. Okay. Space 2 is here. I'm just gonna add a layer for stars, because if I hate how the stars look, I would like to be able to remove them. Stars. Now I've been using the watercolor tool, but I think stars would be better suited to maybe even just an erasing tool. Now that's way too big. Switch the amount erased way, way high. Switch the size way, way low. Let's see how this randomization thing works. Oh no, wait, I can't do an eraser if I'm doing a new layer. All right, we're doing painting. Follow your heart. I'm going to paint on a white color. That's too big for a plausible star. 5? 5 is too small. 7. 7 feels good. All right, let's go wild. Tea break first and then go wild. While I'm starring this night, I would like to say hello to the folks that are here. I'm very sorry for your lack of board gaming, Asina. I'm glad to provide something that you can go to, however. And Christine, thank you for coming despite not being able to stay long. See, you can see how quickly these are turning evenly. And Emmy as well. I know that you are in a sort of quarantine sitch, which is necessary but not ideal. All right, I can see the layer as a mask. Okay, so full disclosure, I've heard people use this term mask, and I don't know what it is, and at this point I'm too afraid to ask, as the saying goes. But I suppose if you are a willing teacher, you could tell me what a mask is. Because seriously, I do not know what that means. I apologize if you hear more phone notifications. That is more Dungeons and Dragons. Oh, I see. I see what I'm doing. Okay. Okay. I think I will revisit this space thing on a day where I'm more feeling that vibe. Because I think it's a good thought, but it's not exactly what I want yet. So space, stars, there we go. I'm going to make a copy of this layer. Let's do pansexual, because that's another set of 3 that is easy to do. Goodbye. Teehee, get it? I'm so sorry. Turn the background off. We've already got white. I did accidentally color with the bisexual flag over the entire white background thing. So I might just want to make a copy and call this white background so I can copy it later. White background. Boop. That's for future me. Moon outline can go pansexual. Your time is now. This was the base image that I used for sizing. I technically do not need it anymore. Oh no. All right. Now, in very convenient news, the pansexual pride flag, has the same first color, which is very nice. Oops, we are not on watercolor. Sometimes if I was in a hurry or wanting to do a lot in a little bit of time, I would copy and paste. It turns out Autodesk Sketchbook, which is the program that I'm using, does not have the masking feature. I would still love to know what it is, because it seems like something I should probably be aware of. Were I in more of a hurry, I might have copy-pasted the pink design from earlier. However, I'm chilling on a stream, and so I'm not in a hurry. Moon time. I think the pan pride flag is a top tier for like artistic ventures, because it's just so bright and so full of life. I even have a special, there are many blue colors. Ooh, this is more of a bop of a music than I was expecting. There are tons of blue colors. I think, actually, let's just open it right up. We got dark blue, apparently. That is nothing. Blue, flag blue for flags, bright blue, which is the one that I use for the pansexual pride flag because it's just so bright. Look at it. And then light blue, which is what I used to use for the pan pride flag and what I still do use for like the trans pride flag because it fits a little better. This bright blue is what I used for... Goodness gracious, this is so much louder than I was expecting. Alright, we're almost done. That's okay. I have lost my train of thought, however. So my apologies. My phone is displaying the stream, but it's on a slight time delay, so it just popped up the part where I went to check on the music. Okay, I like it. So we got pan, we got bi, and now the question: what divides by 7 nicely? We could cheat and go with the lesbian flag for the time being because that's got, well, depending on who you talk to. The version I use is 5, so we'll be able to put those 2 end ones on the last 2 moons because the end moon is very small. I don't remember whether the orange or the pink is on top, so handy dandy Google will tell me. All right, orange is on top. Cool, cool, cool. So of these little side colors, here's what we got. Dark orange, orange, wherever warm white is, and then I think light pink and dark pink are the two that I have chosen. Again, I do have a document with all of these laid out, but this is not a fill out a document kind of vibe. This is a go with your heart kind of vibe. So my heart says we're starting with dark orange. Dark orange. Yeah. I did. I have gotten requests for lesbian flags that are not this one, but this is the one I get the most. And so when I'm doing like a standard layout for something, I do go with this flag. It is interesting that I feel like lesbian identity and lesbian pride has been around for longer than have other identities. I think I don't want to misquote history here, so I'll just keep that to myself. But there are so many different flags and not a lot of consensus. That's not a community I'm a part of, so I genuinely cannot say much more there. But it is an interesting thing to observe from the outside. Whoop. Sorry. Okay. Again, let me read this from my phone. Basically, masks work as a layer which controls the opacity of other layers. So you could have something fully transparent except when you paint on the masking layer. Oh, that's nifty. Thank you, Asina. This could come in very handy when I am using a different program. Pink. So the problem with some of the colors is you can't really tell them apart from white until you put on a lot of them. I did take these colors all from, literally I took the yarn that I used for each color of yarn, and I just found a part of the yarn that looked the coloriest, and I took a hex code from that, and that became my official color, and I've been using them on the art ever since. Oh, thank you. That was the hope, Emily, that the unfolding process would be interesting. And again, why I chose to show you all the coloring instead of the line art part, because the line art is mostly I draw a curve, the curve's not quite right, I draw another curve, I erase the first curve, I fine-tune the second curve. And I am not very good at digital art, and I do not have the fanciest of tablets, which works great for a very free-form thing like this, but not so great for like detail work. So things like Aizawa and Tanjiro take a lot longer to do. All right. Now we're getting into difficult territory. Let's be bold. Let's be dramatic. Thank you, Asina. I'm glad you think it is cool. We're going to do non-binary. That's 4. That does not divide into 7. I have determined for a lot of things, mostly crochet patterns, because those are a little easier to do and fudge a little bit in particular. Excuse me. But most pride flags have between 3 and 6 colors. And so I will usually have some kind of pattern for like, if this has 3 colors, change colors here and here. If it has 4 colors, change here, here, and here, etc., etc. like the whales, the pun whales. Like bisexual whale has like a little stripe in the middle. The pansexual has 3 equal stripes, and so on and so forth. But I know exactly what row to change the colors when I'm stitching away. All right. I said I would do non-binary. I think it's yellow, white, purple, black, but I'm going to double check because I'm afraid. I have the pride flags into really weird categories. This one's just called gender. They're also colored in so that I can grab the colors if I need to. It is yellow, white, purple, black, but light purple and light yellow, which is helpful. I feel like I'm inclined to lump these 2 end moons together because the one is really skinny, but that leaves 1 section, 2, 3, 4, 5, which is less than ideal. I think also the question of what this main moon color should be is a good one. So if it's yellow, white, oh, Sina accidentally made a crochet flower with 7 petals and had to panic math into being a square again. I have done that. Panic math is so real when it comes to crochet. I can't panic math with knitting yet because I don't understand knitting construction well. But there are so many scribbles in my like crochet pattern book of like how I had to adapt. Yeah, especially when you're sizing things, like if something is made for a certain size, but when you do like a 2x2 inch square, it should be 16 stitches by 3 rows or something, and it's not. That's a whole mess. And then I just cry. I genuinely don't know how I'm going to do 4. So I'm going to pause that and do something slightly easier. Rainbow. Typically the like gay rainbow flag is red, orange, yellow, blue, green, and purple. But I can fudge it with like adding an indigo from like the official rainbow. Well, we'll start with red and see where the day takes us. Here's red. Beautiful. It is funny when you see things that were very obviously made for like rainbow enthusiasts being marketed at gay people. It's like, wait, we also have this for you. Like, no. I do not think that is what the original intent was. I appreciate your attempt, but it is not a strong one. All right. Oh, do I have a flag red situation? No flag red. Yellow. There's a bright yellow as well that I use for pan, among other things, like my little Pikachu. Green. Get a flag green. Did not expect that to be in the middle. I could have figured it out by counting, but I didn't. Beautiful. Flag blue. And then time for indigo to see how that works. So, no, that's not what I wanted. I think indigo is like a light blue-ish. Please correct me if I am wrong. I can also go back and fix this later. That seems forgivable at the very least. And then flag purple. The rainbow flag is the one that has the most of the flag colors as opposed to the raw yarn colors. This feels good. This feels nice. No need to panic, Asina. Beautiful. Yeah, 4 out of 9. We are almost an hour in, so I feel like it would be a good time to color in other things, especially things that are like based on a plushie or a figure or like a pop culture thing. So let us return to the very large list. Please do vote if you would like to see something in particular. But we've got Aizawa, Evolutions, maybe, Frog, Kirby Pride, Loki, Mandrake, Mothman, Mushroom, Snail, and Tanjiro, Chaos, and Jellyfish. It will be a tea break for me, and then I will see if y'all have any thoughts. I have so much ginger inside of my stomach right now. It's glorious. All right, I'm gonna drop all the ones that are Pride related because we just did that. I'm gonna drop the ones that are line art cleaning because that's nice fun, and drop the ones that are to make transparent because that's also not as fun. So, based on color alone, let's see how the Mandrake's doing. Beautiful. So here's some of the original photos for the Mandrake. Aw. I'm glad they sound great, Asina. I genuinely do not know what is fun to watch because I'm not watching. The outline, the full, and there it is. I cleaned this up fairly recently in anticipation of doing the stream, so it feels only fitting to actually, do it. So the Mandrake is just 2 colors. A sort of a lighter brown for the body and a forest green for the leaves. I'm going to do the leaves first because that is closer to the size that we've been working with. And let me see if I remember the color correctly. I think it's... Let me just take a look. I think it's something close to what I call turtle green, which is a green I bought specifically to make a turtle and then didn't have any other defining features for it, so it became turtle green. I'm seeing this is becoming an issue. The one thing with this color is it looks pretty dark and muddy in digital, so we're going flag green to see how that goes. I'm imagining the light coming from like a similar spot, but I also put in a little bit like of a curve into the leaf because I know how the physical leaf itself curves on the actual plushie. So this is curving this way actually. It also feels really nice to have like a unified aesthetic where the colors of the yarn are the colors of the watercolor, all my little doodles and stuff are watercolors. Most of the writing is either in my actual handwriting or an approximation of it. Oh dear, which one were we going to select? Oh, I have two. You'll see my like skin tone-esque ones down at the bottom. I've started using a really weird variety of labels, and I've added little notes for what I use them for. So, for example, these four are light brown, dark beige, beige, and light beige. Which is completely arbitrary. And I chose it one day. Ooh, pardon. And now it's too late to change because it's in all my notes already. But when I publish like patterns and stuff, I will make it whatever the name of the yarn brand color is. I also, that is the yarn brand and color and exact whatevers are in another tab of this very spreadsheet, which you cannot see all of. Boop. Yeah, one of the things that was a bit of a issue when I was getting all of this digital art stuff figured out was trying to figure out shading, because in several of the tools outside of the watercolor, shading ended up not being so much of a gradient as being like really harsh. I do like having more of a gradient thing going on. Okay, this needs to be darker. Ta-da! The color works up really, really fast. Now that I think of it. But usually when I'm doing digital stuff, I'm like on some Zoom event or chilling while watching someone play a video game, and it's usually at night when my computer has the little filter thing on, and so I don't want to mess with colors because I will either have to expose my eyes to blue light or do completely the wrong colors, neither of which are ideal. But this little guy is done. So we can put it in all designs, creatures. I'll save it as a PNG so it preserves the transparent background. And Drake. Beautiful. Yes, I did not consider that my backdrop of my own stream would be popping up every time that I closed something, so I do apologize. And now that it is colored, we can remove the little note on the end and then a little tilde at the beginning, and it goes right back in alphabetical order where it belongs. Let's do frog next. And again, if anyone has strong or even mildly non-weak opinions, please do express them. So I think I'm going to do a variety of colors of frog because I do have so many darn greens. Darn green, the lesser known third green brother. And then just printing out a whole bunch of them. I just realized that I could make pride frogs. It's so obvious. I'm gonna make pride frogs after I color this in. Wow, I'm astonished that I did not do that. All right, pride frogs. So I'm gonna color in the eyes first, because I use one specific. This sound is going to be a little rough for a second. One specific kind of eye. Probably can see it not super well, but it is there. This has a special little green border that I put in all of the frog plushes. And there's only one color, so I will only put it in one color. Pride frogs! I know, I'm shocked that I never thought of it before just now. It's like, how could I not think of pride frogs? So I'm going to start with a light green and then go a little lighter so that I can do one that is light green. Oh, that's lonesome. Yeah, I know, but just pride frogs. Why not pride frogs? Boop. I first got those little frog eyes because all of our Dungeons and Dragons characters in my main campaign had been transformed into animals for shenanigan reasons. And one of them was a crab, one of them was an owl, one of them was, I don't remember what the other one of them was, but one of them was a frog with like a muzzle frog, like a Toad something is the 90s cartoon. And so I made that player a frog, and I found these eyes and said they must belong to this frog. So I made it happen. All right. Rename layer. Green eyes. Just gonna make a whole bunch of them. I think maybe 3 is good. I'll just keep the green eyes for future. Light green. Dark green. And other green. All right, let's just start with light green. Here's the picker. Here is the light green. Oh, this is way too small. Oh no, it's almost at the maximum. Oh goodness. I don't know what those mean. All right, I'm going to do my best to have a very light touch, free for all. Goodness, this is not going to be as simple as I was hoping. That's okay though. It's also a little delayed. Pride Frog Squad! Yes. I also want to make some, like, just fun color sets for folks. To have different, like, I feel like a rainbow frog is going to be fun for people no matter whether they're in the LGBT community or not. Though, I mean, pride frogs. Oh, thank you. Yeah, pride frogs are definitely what I'm doing after this. Okay, since the tool maxes out at a certain number of pixels and not a certain size, this is a little more challenging than it might otherwise be. However, that's okay. It just means we're learning. I feel a Bob Ross kind of vibe right now. I had never seen a Bob Ross video until like 2 months ago. Turns out the hype is genuine. Bob Ross is very cool. And I am not he. But that is okay. Because I am myself. I think I keep wanting to make it darker. There's a good light green. And we'll see how dark green works. And then, of course, I will show you my wide variety of pride flags. I have so many. I usually go, if I'm just making something in a batch, I usually go with those main 9 that I miscounted earlier. Well, this is really something. My computer's also chugging a little bit, so it's not responding exactly when I am putting the brush strokes down. Especially if I do a lot. Yeah, like that was 3 full seconds of catching up. But that does not matter for your viewing pleasure. Now available. Please stop sending me notifications. I got the Epic Games app specifically to play Fortnite, 3 years ago. And I haven't played it since they revealed themselves to be even sketchier than previously thought. But I have yet to uninstall the Epic Game Store, and every day I get a notification, and every day I think, I should uninstall that, and every day I don't. Silly me. Alright, this frog is not how I imagined this frog would look, but it is a good frog. I was going to name this frog, and then I realized the name that I was thinking of was the name of what will soon be my friend's nephew. That child is due to be born on February 22nd of this year, which is the coolest birthday. 22222. It's also on a Tuesday. Extremely fun. Very good. All right. Let's other green this up. And then it will be time for Pride Frogs. Oh, I see that we are. Well, that's not. Let's see if this shows up again. Oh dear. My apologies. Boop. This is usually the stuff that happens behind the scenes, but it does show up now because I'm sharing my screen. I wanted you all to be able to see the folders and the colors and all the files and stuff, so I wasn't able to just share a window. However, if all y'all streaming professionals out there want to tell me a way to share but not share OBS, which is the program I use to stream, or not share a certain window like that particular Chrome window, then I would be all ears. I feel like I have had several moments in the past few weeks where Asina has taught me something that I did not know. So in my mind I'm like, Asina must know. For example, did you know that when you are knitting and you drop a stitch, you do not have to undo all the rows that you already did? I learned this recently from Asina. I was very grumpy about how difficult knitting was, and then I realized it was only difficult because I didn't know what I was doing. I think there is a metaphor to be had there, but I am not going to endeavor to find it on this particular day. Alright, good frog. Excellent frog. Okay. I think I'm going to keep Green Eyes Frog. Is it transparent? Okay. So the way that this usually works... Oh, yes. I think my friend is going to be an excellent aunt. She's currently a dog mom, so they're not the same, but... So here are all my Pride backgrounds. You will notice that they are in a square shape and not a frog shape. I have them in many a Pride flag. The sections that are black are actually transparent, but that's the way that sometimes they save. Ah! Oh, that's okay. You know so much about so many things, Asina. But as I said, I'm only going to go with the main 9. I will send them many congratulations. So, I usually get the square going, and then I fit it. Oh no. And then I fit it to the size of whatever I'm making. Oh, beautiful. And then I will pop this cover on so that it is in front, and I will fill the surrounding with white. so that I can then take out the background later. I have realized a slight error, which is that Green Eyes does not have white on the eyes where the green is. So if the green is over something else, it may turn funny colors. Like if it is over red, it may turn brown. So I don't know how to fix that exactly, but that's okay. We're gonna fudge it. Fill. Ooh. Actually, I don't love that. Okay. More fudging must occur. I will create another layer. I will put white on this other layer. I'll fuse them into one layer. Oops. How big is this thing? Oh, it's star-sized. That's why. Okay. Now you can see that this is no longer transparent. And there's a white backdrop behind the watercolor of the eyes. If I fuse them together, no one will ever know, except for all of you watching. See? That looks good. I like this. All right. Now, oops, we're saving the whole diddly darn thing. My microphone is very close to my keyboard, and my keyboard is very loud. So I apologize for keyboard noises. I'm going to save as a PNG. Frog a romantic. Ta-da! And then we just keep it going. Asexual is next. I do have to take off aromantic. But here we go. Oh, you can also hear my mouse clicking. It's very, very close to the microphone. That's okay. It's a learning process. Winston says that he's not partial to fudge, but it does seem like the place for it. I cannot believe you're not partial to fudge. That is so sad. How can you live in Michigan? There we go. Okay. This eye thing is great. Pride frogs. And you'll notice that the files themselves are TIFF files or TIFF files. But when I'm saving the specific image, if I want all the layers together, I will change it to a PNG or a JPEG. I have noticed my posture is less than stellar, so I shall work to correct it for my own health. There. Bisexual frog. I like to put it a little bit above and a little bit below, just in case I need to rotate it at all. Like I was messing with Pokeballs yesterday, and the line of where the Pokeball divides into two sections was like slightly off. Oh dear. Speaking of slightly off. Oh. Winston says he can't hear the mouse, which is fantastic. I don't know where that layer went. I would love to be able to draw. Thank you. There we go. Get those little shiny eyes. I put the shine on some, but not all of the eyes. Let me see if the rest of them... Oh, I didn't even notice that the shine was not... Yeah, this is a whole... This right eye, or rather the frog's left eye, is white with the shine, and the frog's right eye is green with the shine. Well, I'm glad I caught that soon. Start from the very beginning. At least this time, I don't have to type out the name. I can just click I am very good to replace it, thank you. And the arrow frog. Perfect. And then the Bifrog. Bifrog sounds like a Pokemon. Bisexual frog. Okay. The one annoying thing about this whole process is now that I have saved all of these, I have saved them with white as the background. So if I wanted to bunch them together to print them out or to make art or something, I would have to take all of the backgrounds out, either by hand or using a batch one. But most of the batch editors do not, most of the free batch editors, that is, do not preserve file names. And I do not have all, I believe, 27 or 28 of the pride flags that I have, that I use memorized. So that would make things a little difficult. There we go. Genderqueer frog. I do like how the green pops when there are green flags. It looks very nice. Bifrog evolves into Tritoad. The representation we needed. There is a trigender flag in here somewhere. Trigender. But we're not going to make a Trifrog today. Lesbian is the next of the main. Oh, this is upside down? Goodness gracious. Oh dear. I see that we have an error. And there is a giant white patch. That's okay. We can stretch. Beautiful. I'm gonna put this white more in the middle. Oh, this is a very nifty little tool. Particularly for my pride flag stuff, because it sort of distorts whatever image you have, which is sometimes needed because I didn't realize that I would be using these the way that I'm using them. I have noticed a lot of like amphibious and or sea creatures. I do a lot of jellyfish. I have a lot of whales. I have lizards as well, which are kind of amphibian. Some are not. This is Autodesk Sketchbook. This is actually a free tool. That's not what I wanted. Autodesk Sketchbook, you can see if you open up the description of this video, there's a link to the website. It is a free software, which, very nice. But my friend Bree recommended it to me because she was, frankly, much more experienced in digital art than I was, because at that time my digital art experience was also zero. So I looked up Autodesk Sketchbook. I downloaded it. I started messing around. I found this neat little watercolor tool, and I've been using it ever since. But it does not have the masking tool. So we've learned this today. I will say it is not something that I can have like open in the background while I'm trying to do something else complex, like play a game or be like running something. It does run fine in like a Zoom call, but it's rather it takes a lot out of my computer, so be warned. Don't just leave it open willy-nilly. I'm going to stretch it so that there's more yellow and less black. Beautiful. A non-binary frog. I feel like there's also some unusual gender diversity in frogs that I did write a children's story about once, but I don't remember whether it was frogs or not. I'm not going to pull that open because you do not need to read my children's stories. Someday. If I ever open a Patreon, it'll be a perk. All right. Trans flag. I have experimented with, and by experimented with, I mean I posted it once and I thought about it. Having some of these like Pride and other images just to have available for people to use as phone backgrounds and stuff. Or like have the uncolored version available for people to draw in. But I do not know how good of a business decision that is, frankly, and whether someone will... Wait, no. Sorry, I can't talk and type at the same time. But I do want to be able to share stuff, so I think I'm going to do it anyway. Oh, I need to save the, all of the frogs. Okay. So we get the light green frog. Oh dear. It's slightly off. Do you see how it's slightly off, this light green frog? Oh my gosh. I don't know how that happened. Well, that's a problem for another day. Tea break. I did not have very much tea left, so that was a very short tea break. Here are all of the lovely pride frogs. I think my favorite is the genderqueer frog because I like the green on the eyes with the green. That's pretty good. I'm going to leave this little color note because of whatever was happening with the greens. Why don't I show you what I was doing with this Pokeball stuff? So here's the deal. I'm going to make these large. Super, super duper large. So you can see them all. So I was experimenting with a variety of designs. So there are 3 main choices. The first is what angle you're viewing the Pokeball from. You'll see, for example, the pansexual and the transgender are like a right on, so that the straight lines look more like a part of the design, and things like the asexual and the lesbian are like top down, which looks better as a Pokeball, but not as good with the lines. The second is whether to have the bottom be white or transparent. So asexual and genderqueer are both white versus like lesbian and pansexual are both transparent. And then the third thing is whether I was just messing around. I put a little A on the aromantic flag because there is there are a variety of like symbols and letters and things on Pokeballs in the actual games. The primary example being the big M on the Master Ball, which the bisexual does kind of look like the Master Ball, which is a little funny to me. But none of them were perfect. So, if you have thoughts, do share them. I think what I might have to do is lock some designs. So for example, if someone were to request like a trigender or an omnisexual frog, I could do it very quickly and make it for them, and that would be awesome and great. But if someone were to if I were to like individually draw the flags for each of these Pokeballs, the process to, for example, make a trigender one would be much more lengthy, and so I may have to like soft lock it, which it feels exclusionary, but also I want my designs to look good. The never-ending struggle. So that's what's going on with my Pokeball design right now. Tanjiro is going to probably take a very long time. But heck, we've got half an hour. And he's a good boy. And he is #relevant in our current pop culture sphere. I'm going to pull up a reference image that I get, particularly the earrings right. Perfect. Just a full body thingamajig. Is there a view image? Goodness gracious, this is not what I wanted. There we go. Okay. Yeah, it's the red and the light blue. Okay. So I'm going to start by doing the main body and the skin tone. So then when I'm putting in other colors, I can do so with like a good idea of the context that they will be in. Okay. You may notice a frankly precocious number of layers. This is the original little doodle I did over the plush. I evened out the arms, as you can see, and like made the hair a little more dramatic. I would have probably tucked the head in if I had known I was using this as a reference photo, but that's okay. I also put in the eyes. Very much not where the eyes ended up being, I think. Wait, where are the eyes? Oh, here. No, they're about the same. I do think I need to transfer to DuckDuckGo, Miles. I think Google knows too much about me, frankly. Alright. So I feel good about this design in general, but rather than merging all the layers, I'm going to copy them first just in case, because if, for example, I need to like switch up one of the lines in the jacket, it's going to be a real pain in the behind to go in and do that on a fully merged image. Oh, goodness gracious. 6, 5, 4, 3. Again, the math returns. Also, thank you for joining, Miles. I do not think I have seen you here before or have seen your comments. So that is lovely. I do need all of these in one layer so I can properly do the little magic wand grab doohickey. I am on Firefox. I have divided all of my browsers into different categories. So I use Google Chrome for work, primarily like freelancing and Janty Craftly stuff. And I use Firefox for youth work that I do, and Dungeons and Dragons. So For example, there's a Canva account that I use with the youth organization I work for that's logged into Firefox, and then the Janet D. Craftily Canva is logged into Google Chrome. And then I use Brave for like personal things, like just going on Facebook or streaming things, or general internet usage. Opening a silly video someone sends me. It also means that like certain extensions, like there are certain D&D extensions that I only have on Firefox. So I am still using Chrome for work things because it syncs and saves things, which is very convenient, but also worrisome. So if you have any other browser recommendations, I was running low. I've heard that Vivaldi, I think, is the name of one of them. Or something along those lines. It's not. I think I've made an error. Yeah, I've made an error. That's okay. I want to shade in this a little more, but not so much that you can tell I shaded it. Yeah, I think that might be a done deal. Yeah, I'm gonna start over on those pants because I forgot to shade in the part near the belt. And that is how that would work because of science. There we go. So shade in the belt, shade in a little bit under the coat, the iconic coat. When people don't know what Demon Slayer is, I'm like, have you seen people at conventions wearing that green and black checkered coat? And they're like, yeah. It's like, that's Demon Slayer. So it's helpful to have context. Especially, there are a lot of parents who will come up to me at events and like ask me to explain things, which is great. I'm happy to do so. But I often have to find like a shorthand, like, have you seen the coat or something like that to actually explain it to them, because they often want just a little bit of context and not my whole opinion on the show, which is super reasonable. Get that light beige from my extremely logically named color schemes. One thing I also did not put on the original plush is that iconic scar, so I need to go back and do that before I have another big a big event and take some new pictures. It did get taken off of Etsy. I think I put it up as like Devil Killer or something instead of Demon Slayer. They still got me. I tried. Right now my Totoros are up as Forest Spirit, so that may only last so long. I do have a policy of being willing to create work based on things owned by companies who have become the top anything, so like Disney or Shonen Jump or Studio Ghibli. Like, that feels good. I'm not gonna make like the Adventure Zone thing from the McElroys, because they genuinely do rely on merch sales to promote their work for their free podcast that they make. So I would feel a little uncomfy going around that. I think they've also explicitly said, like, hey, don't do this, please. And who am I to say no to the McElroy brothers? Right, his hair is this really weird, like red, which works well with the yarn that I have, thankfully. Wow, I really wish this was anywhere else. There we go. And it is what I simply call dark red, because I only have a few shades of red as opposed to my many shades of green. Okay. I do want to see how this goes. I think I might make this a little smaller now that I'm not doing Not that much smaller. Oh, buddy. Yeah. That feels okay. Now that I'm not doing like the big body elements. Okay. Any more dark red? Oh, the scar. Silly me. I'm gonna make the scar as dark as possible to differentiate it a little bit from the hair. So many layers. There we go. This looks good to me. While we're all zoomed in, I am gonna grab some light blue to make those earrings. There have been some concerns about Tanjiro's earrings, but I think in this context where they're a very small and not easily seen element of the whole design, I feel okay. Great. Unzoom. That's typically called zoom out, but okay. Now for his little feetsies. He's got these wrappings on his feet. Now I need this back up. Oh no. He's got these little wrappings on his feet. So I did those as well as the belt in like a bright white color. Hey, what's going on here, buddy? Oh, I selected something. That does look like a genuinely useful tool that I will come back to later. Gotta get that bright white. And then I don't scribble it in very hard because it's gonna be white anyway. But you can still tell a difference when like I can show you some mushrooms that I did where the stalk has that white watercolor in it. And I tell ya, it makes a difference. Okay, belt. Yeah, you can see it getting a little darker. Now, the part that I have been putting off is this delightful checkered coat of his. The iconic nature of which has been well established. Oh geez, I don't want to do each little individual, but I shall. But unless there's a way to select a bunch, well, now is the time to find out. So this is replace, this is add. Oh my goodness. Wow, that took 4 seconds and saved me a lot of time. I'm really glad I saved this for now instead of just rotely going through. Wow, look at that. Oh, wonderful. Okay. Now the moment of truth. I might switch back to my mouse for this. To select each little, I'm going to base on the bottom corners. So the bottom left corner is green, and then I'll just go from there. This is not true for the design of the character itself, but for my plushie, the inside is the same color as the outside, so I'm going to make it look that way here as well. Alright, we got green. Add. And then every other little checkerboard. I'm very afraid I'm going to click something that I should not click and then have to redo it. But it's going to be so much faster to do it this way than literally any other way than that I was thinking of. And also much easier for shading purposes. Please don't get the black. Thank you. Okay, I don't know. I think that bottom one's also green. Please let me keep adding. Green. Green. I believe that I selected it so that you can see my cursor on the stream. But if you are finding things hard to see, please let me know. And I will try to zoom in or do whatever else might be appropriate. Now I'm trying to remember what color of green that I used. I think I just used green. I think I am gonna go with flag green for the purposes of a digital art thing because it will show up a lot better. Oh my goodness. Look at this beautiful checkered boy. I think this little guy's definitely gonna be the screenshot slash thumbnail for this stream. Because it does look the coolest. Although I am very partial to those frogs. The eternal question. I'm trying to make it so that it is darker on one side than the other to imply some sort of lighting, especially in this underneath part. Yeah. Yeah. This looks good. Now, take 2 with black. All right, back to the mouse. After we have completed this beautiful checker boy, let me know if there's anything that you recall seeing that you would like to finish off this stream with. Oh boy, that's a real sliver. Hey, we'll take it. Whether it's more Pride designs, whether it's going back to those Pokeballs or those frogs, whether there's a particular character you want to see, or if you want to see me start one of these little doodles from scratch with something, I have plenty where I can give you a tour of my things that I'm planning on making. Hint, it is a long list. But if y'all do not have strong feelings, I am sure I will think of something. All right, watch the magic happen. Okay, we got one layer down. 2. I do want to kind of have it be approximately the same shade that it is on that like inside outfit part, but with enough definition to like imply a round arm and like a underside to the coat and that kind of thing. Gonna make this a little. Yeah, I think under the arms is a good place to put that. All right, it's Tanjiro. Background? Yeah, beautiful. I am going to save him under completed designs. I call them all designs because then it is alphabetically first. Pop culture, I think, is the place where he belongs. Tanjiro. Beautiful. Now I am going to pop this back on And, oh dear, this is not what I wanted. I am going to take my end of stream screenshot early because I'm not going to be able to take it in the software I usually do. And so it'll be a little bit of a kerfuffle to do it later. Everybody say cheese. Beautiful. Save that for future Janity. All right, in our remaining 15 minutes, let me know what your plans are, or your hopes are, for this weekend and this time. Because I would love to hear them. And I think I will just do a quick little, oops. Also going to check to make sure I have about 15 minutes of music left. I do. Wonderful. So now Tanjiro is done. We can put back with the main ones. I'm feeling powerful. I'm feeling strong. Cheese? Well, I can show you the little mushrooms. It's quite an array. Oh, I was a fool. Your cheese was very late on my end, but I imagine there might be a delay. So I appreciate your cheesiness, as I always do. This is actually my first experiment in trying to do digital art, which looks fine. It's not like bad by any means, but it is not the look that I was going for. And you see what I mean by the shading being quite like binary. It's not really a gradient. This is the original. And also, these little mushrooms can show what I mean by either leaving something white as the background or putting in the white watercolor. Makes quite the difference. I'm still not sure which version I'm going to put out into the world. Yes, and this is the recolored and recolored again, and I think mushroom final, and all of that jazz. Isina says D&D tomorrow and a different RPG on Sunday. D&D tomorrow for Winston too, game design, and maybe D&D Sunday. This is an excellent D&D group, which fills me with happiness. I am playing D&D tomorrow as well, for which I am very excited. Yeah, Isina, what RPG are you playing on Sunday? I'm very intrigued. I have become very interested in non-D&D RPGs. For a variety of reasons. But I like seeing other stuff. Snail. Yeah, I did make this snail. I doodled it with a little bit of ridges, because the original has some ridges on there. But I think I will do without. Ooh. Oh, Miles says it's snowing a lot, so maybe they'll go out in it with a properly warm outfit. And Sina's friend has made a homemade one called Tales of Fate, which has been going for 5 years. Goodness. And Winston does recommend socks, and I can second that recommendation. That is nifty. I have a friend who's been working on an RPG called Teamwork and Treachery. They recently put out a call for playtest dates, and I unfortunately have too many darn things going on to be able to partake. So that is unfortunate. What color is this? The world may never know. That's maybe too many. There we go. I'm going to copy this so I can do different colors. It gets twice as dark that way. I will start with red because that is what is on the thing. Wow, I love this excellent sock discussion. I'm a big fan of socks myself. I'm currently wearing some, I checked just to make sure, from not Blue Quill, that's some Sonic the Hedgehog stuff. But you know, the snarky ones that you see places, and it says, the 3 things I hate most are math. Okay. I don't love the snail. I think I might be done with the snail. I was 50-50 on the snail in the first place. How about this? I make a Pride Mothman and then make it happen for the day. Mothman. The snail was not quite what I was hoping. In my mind, the snail was something, and in actuality, the snail was something else. Okie dokie. Wow, there's so many. I was experimenting with like knit textures back when I first started. Boy, these can all go, because we're not doing that anymore. It did not work. Oop. Here's the original Mothman. You can see I sort of made it slightly more symmetrical and like made one of the ears a little more playful. Oh, discontinued colors are the bane of our existence. I have 2. Hang on. I have at least one. This beautiful bright yellow and then another beautiful bright blue that are in the Pan Pride flag. I still have their colors up on this little doodad, but I cannot find the flippin' yarn. This is all I have left. I am glad you found a match though, Miles. That is very good. This was back before I named my layers, clearly. I'm gonna call it Mothman Cover. So I'm gonna put some eyes in here and cover up whatever is in the back. Also gonna grab that red so I can get those beautiful red Mothman eyes. I don't know how well the red will look, or how good the red will look with all of the flags, but today is a day to experiment. Very emphatic. Oops. Right. I've lost my cursor. I found my cursor. Let's get these Pride Mothmen. Yeah, not having the right yarn weight, especially when you think you have the right yarn weight, is a struggle, and it seems like a struggle that you have been cursed with, Miles. Very unfortunate. That does not happen to me all of the time, but when it does, it is a big old pain, let me tell you. I can agree with that. Come on. I believe in you. Come on. We're good. We got it. Yeah, finishing stuff is the the real challenge. Only true experts finish things. Oh, I think that my computer has had this open with the streaming software for a little too long. It's getting antsy. Only a few more minutes. I promise you can make it. Mothman asexual. And all of this stretching and stuff will be familiar to folks who saw me do the exact same thing with the frogs but an hour ago. I am curious to see how the red eyes... Oh, Miles. I don't ever use fingering weight yarn, even when the pattern calls for fingering weight yarn. You are a champion, and I cannot believe you made it through. Goodness gracious. Yeah, I have fingering weight yarn that I just don't use because I can't do it. I have the hooks for it. I have all of the things, but I don't want to suffer, and so a bisexual Mothman. I am going to keep going till I get all of these pride flags, but if y'all need to go right at 4, I promise you I will not be offended. You have already had your chance to say cheese, which is the most important part of the stream, as we know. Oh yeah, the different like regional names for things are sometimes troublesome, shall we say. I really wish... I've complained... Oh, I'm glad that you love fingering yarn. Fingering yarn, for those who don't know, is like a... Like, this is worsted weight, and it's maybe like... It's like more like a strand, and this is maybe like half as thick, if that. Like you could do something lacy with it. Yeah. Man. So much yarn knowledge happening in this chat. It brings me great joy. Yeah, I will keep my complaints to myself. I don't think that's the energy for today. Genderqueer. Lesbian. This could look interesting with the red eyes. I gotta flip it because I don't know anything about the lesbian flag. That's okay because I can learn. I too admire the dedication. I think that could look better with the eyes, but that's okay. Yeah, English and US notation is different, especially crochet. I think single crochet and double crochet literally mean different stitches. More power to you. I do not know how things have changed over time, but the 80s was probably slightly different in crochet notation at the very least, or knitting, whatever you are using. We got a nice... Oh, I want to square up that white to be exactly on those eyes because I think that would be cute. Oh boy. Come on, we're so close to the end, buddy. There's no need to freeze. Oh my. Asina is from England using US patterns, dreading have to deal with UK instructions. That is quite a scenario. Boy howdy, I wish you the best of luck whenever you reach that point. Oh, you are knitting, Miles. I'm glad I didn't assume. For anybody watching this back later, it's okay, I barely understand knitting. You can see if you go to live chat as an option if you want to see exactly who's saying what. That will give you folks' comments as they are happening, or as they were happening in the past. I find this funny because the little middle stripe looks kind of like bags under the eyes, but since it's bright yellow, it has the opposite effect. All right, 1, 2, go. Beep. Oh no, wait, 2 to go. I forgot about rainbow. Silly me. 2, 2, go. I think Rainbow Mothman's gonna look very fun. I'm already a fan of Rainbow Mothman. I haven't even seen him yet. I love Trans Mothman. Why did I not think of this earlier? This is delightful. I think I might need to go back and make a rainbow frog as well, but I can do that when the stream ends. That is a-okay. Yeah, the rainbow one, I had to leave a lot of white space because otherwise it looked pretty muddy. That is, once again, oh, I see that now that I have used my yarn red for the Mothman eyes and flag red for this flag. That's okay. I can always change it later. But now we have a complete set, and that will be very satisfying. Thank you all very much for joining me on this lovely Friday afternoon. My energy and spirits were not particularly high to begin with, but they have risen somewhat, and for that I am grateful. I believe next week, because it is going to be the day before the Knit for Food Knit-a-thon, that I'm going to do a little bit of a knitting blitz. So picking out the projects I'm going to be working on, going through my leftover yarn and needle doodads, and planning gifts for people who donate. If you would like to support that, there is a link in the description. It is a fundraiser to support food insecurity and awareness of and feeding those who deal with that. I hope those of you in the chat who are having a delightful knitting discussion will join me in that. It's 12 hours of knitting, but it's doable. I did it last year and I'm going to do it again. But I will see you all next week as I prepare for the Mega Knit-a-thon. See you then.